are back with another PD2 Season 6 Beta build showcase. This is another build that had patch notes on it that a little bit of a nerf. So we'll see if it's still a viable build for Season 6 and showcase some high-end gear. Not optimized for sure, trying to get as many of these builds out for the community as possible. So pick and choose what you guys want to use here and optimize as you see fit. So starting off with your stats, you're going to get as much strength to wear your gear, as much dex to wear your gear, and the rest is going to go into vitality. Skill wise, we are maxing out magic arrow and the cold skill tree. So cold arrow, ice arrow into freezing arrow. 1 point into inner sight, 1 point into slow movement. Extra points are going to go into evade, 1 point into dodge. Critical strike, 1 point. You want to get pierce up to 100%. It's harder with unoptimized gear, but just for showcase purposes, this is what we're using. And penetrate as well, just 1 point. For gear, what we're going to be using is we have ice and a matriarchal bow. This is your fastest base that you can have. You have your +3 skills. Plus skills are very important for this build. You have the cold damage, negative cold res, holy freeze. This is best in slot, cannot be beat. You have a 3 open socket Nightwing's Veil. This is not necessary to have sockets in it. This is just showcasing. The Nightwing's Veil itself is necessary. You get the negative cold res, +2 skills, and you also get the cold skill damage. For this is quality of life for me to get IAS. So I got some IAS in there and also mana after each kill. I don't want to make a CTA for extra mana, and I don't want to pot the entire time. So this is just quality of life. You can go with facets in here, whatever works for you. Mara's, 2 all skills, all res. Quiver, hard to get the quiver that you want here. Ideally, you would like a +2 skills, 20 IAS. You want to get pierce in here as well. Very important to have that max pierce. Maybe some res, whatever you can get there. Boots, I'm using Silk Weave for the mana per kill. I have a Wisp Projector, a Raven Frost for the Cannot Be Frozen. I have a Snow Clash for the +2 skills, cold damage, max cold res as well. Very good for this. Ideally, what you want here is Pierce Gloves with 220. So you have 2 bow and crossbow skills, 20 IAS, want some res, some pierce, whatever you can get there. But for beta purposes, I'm unable to do that. So I just went with the pierce. I thought that was more important than the +2 skills. So you get the pierce, you get the IAS, a little bit of res on these. So these are not a bad option to start off with. Oh, also we're using Chains of Honor here. You could pretty much use anything that gives you +2 skills. If you want to get some facets in there, whatever works. You got your torch, you got your Annie. I always run a Geeds. I'm only using 3 bow skillers here, and the rest of the items are cold skill damage. There's a ratio here that is best to have a certain amount of cold skillers and also bow and crossbow skillers. So you guys need to find out what works best for your build and find that ratio, because as one goes up, the other goes down. So this is most important for us. Damage wise, we have Freezing Arrow. Freezing Arrow is like the Glacial Spike for Cold Zone, and that is doing about 5,000 damage. Cold Arrow, if you want a little more AoE, we were doing about an average of 9,000. And then our Ice Arrow is 17 to 19k. Ice Arrow does not pierce. We also have max resist here, max res, got a little bit of cold absorb, elemental mastery. We have 86 enhanced damage due to our cold skillers. Elemental pierce, that's very big. We are at 100% pierce. Our IS is at 95. Life leech 15. We're not going to do a lot of damage, so we're not going to get a lot of that back. As for Merc, you have Infinity, very important. You could also use an Act 1 Merc with Pus Spitter, also get that Vigor aura for a little quality of life, but Infinity is going to be your best. And then standard Merc gear, Andes, Dreckles, String of Ears, Fortitude, and Gore Rider as well. So what we're going to do is just hop into a map and showcase this. You'd want to use the CTA on swap. We don't have that, so we're just going to hop into it. So you can see the damage that it does. It's massive. Basically just obliterates the screen. Anything that it comes in contact with is just getting destroyed. And all the mobs are frozen in their tracks. So that is the freezing arrow Zon. I think it's a really good build. Definitely needs some mana per kill in order to stay viable, and the damage was just fine without the facets, so keep that in mind when you guys are doing anything like that. But it does suffer from cold immunes, as it is a singular elemental source. So if you guys like this, please comment down below. Let me know if you're going to be playing this. Like and subscribe, it really helps the channel out. If you guys want to see any other builds, please let me know, and I will do my best to showcase them in PD2 beta.